Welcome to Desert Island Tim's. Today I am honoured to have Lisa Hague visit the island. Lisa is well known for her charity work, and she epitomises what Celtic were created for. Lisa, it's good to have you here. How are you?
I'm super. Thank you very much for having me. That's one cracking introduction. Thank you.
So, what was life like for you growing up?
Life was great. Me and Chris are both from Nottingham. Growing up was lovely. Happy, fond memories. Me and my sister, mum and dad. There wasn't a lot of money at all from a very sort of ordinary background. My mum and dad both worked really hard, full time in factories, but we never went without. But we never got what the cool kids had got at school. We'd not got that much stuff. We was the family that shopped in the dodgy supermarket, that you'd eat your crisps out your blazer pocket because you'd be embarrassed for your friends to see you'd not got walkers. But no, really good, really close family. Nice sort of holidays growing up, different holidays to what our children are getting used to already, and they're only 1, 2 and 3. Our holidays was at the seaside in my grandma's caravan, fish and chips, out the newspaper, that sort of growing up, and going to the swimming baths in the day, which were like a little dodgy swimming baths on the site, and playing the 2p machines in an evening. But really, really good. I keep saying to Chris now, as our children get bigger, they are going to have the Skegness caravan holidays. He's mortified by the thought of it. He was a bit posher than us. They had the Centre Parks holidays, so he was spoilt. But no, there was certainly no going abroad or getting on an aeroplane that came sort of into my teenage years. But amazing holidays.
Your first song, what would that be?
My first song is Jose Gonzalez, Heartbeats.
That was Jose Gonzalez and Heartbeats. Right, Lisa, can you tell us a wee bit more about your charity and why you started it?
The charity is the Lola Commons Fund for Simba. Simba approached me about 10 months ago and asked if I would become ambassador of their charity. And I'm ambassador of probably 4 or 5 charities now, and I thought I've actually got enough on my plate at the moment. We'd done a lot with Wee Oscar. I just had baby Jacks as well, so I thought although I felt honoured, I thought I'm going to have to say no, because I don't feel I can dedicate enough time to become ambassador and get involved as much as I would like to. And the lady on the phone said, no problem at all, but can I just ask you to have a look at our website, just have a read through, let us know if you change your mind. I'd only said to Chris the night before that I was going to sort of wind my neck in a little bit with the charity work, just have a couple of months of it simmering off, and just wait till Jack's got a bit bigger and then start again. But straight away I went upstairs, had a look on the laptop at the SANS website, and realised straight away that I would become an ambassador of it, that I would be giving it 110%. It was everything that I wished was available when we'd lost baby Lola. It was everything that I wished I'd have known about and could tell other people about that was going through a similar experience. So it got me straight away. I think one of the main things is it wasn't just a one-stop, you've lost a baby, have a leaflet, there's a little bit of support. It was the extra things. We raise a lot of money for the cuddle cots, so that when you've lost a baby, they're placed in a cuddle cot, and it means you get to spend a longer amount of time with them, which is precious. Also the family rooms, we're in now 80 hospitals in Scotland, giving them the memory boxes, trying to get these family rooms in, just so that you've got your own space and your own precious time together. So read the website, rung the lady back and said, yep, you've got me, I'm all yours, and I will make time for it, which I have done. And I knew that I could make a difference to it. I knew that by me and Chris getting involved and using our Chris Commons superpower that we could raise the profile of the charity a little bit more, and let the Celtic fans know what we're up to. And people, as soon as it got out in the papers up here and I released the story of us losing Lola 5 years ago, we'd received a tremendous amount of support from the Celtic fans, and I knew that me being part of this charity the Celtic fans would help me, they'd support me, they'd get involved, and that's just what they have done. So it's put Sands on the map a little bit more of charities. So from that then they offered me my own little pot, which is the Lola Commons Fund for Simba, and they said basically any money that you raise goes into its individual pot, and then you can decide where you want that money to go, into what hospitals, what equipment you want to buy. So I was very excited by that. I did the Lola Commons lunch in the summer this year, and it raised 39,500 for a ladies' lunch. 350 thirsty Glaswegian ladies turned up. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Everybody that supported me and got involved, I'd got Celtic fans turning up to Celtic Park saying, look, I've had these shirts all my life, I want you to be able to auction them off, I want you to be able to raffle them off. Or got Jimmy Johnson paintings and loads and loads of things. Henrik Larsson got involved and I got a signed shirt from him. Loads of things made it the day, as well as the input from the club. Neil Lennon came and his partner Irene, and we got 5 of the first team boys. At one point I got Fraser Forster walking around with a post box that was about his size, telling ladies they got to chuck envelopes full of money in, and he was very persuasive for a guy with not many, he doesn't speak too much, he's quite shy, but he raised thousands I think doing that. We got Adam Matthews singing. Joe and Adam did the Mr. and Mr. competition because they're the couple at Celtic. The bromance is high at Celtic with Joe and Adam. And then I got the Wags involved. We did a penalty shootout against Fraser. We got Frank McAvenny being waxed on a chaise longue, which everybody wanted to see. They wanted to see that man being pain inflicted upon him for some reason. So everybody loved that. Michelle McManus singing. Do you know, I could spend 20 minutes telling you everything that happened in a few hours ladies' lunch. I say a few hours. It started at 1, it finished at 8. It was a good few hours. But I'm left with a task now to make it bigger, better, funnier, sillier, and to raise more money than what I did. And we'll be able to do that already with Gid Kevin Bridges, the Poke. He's a friend of ours, to say, can you come and do a bit of stand-up this time? So if he's available, I'm sure he'll be there. Rod Stewart can expect a little knock on his front door if I can find his address. I'm going to be snooping through the files at Celtic, find out where our celebrity supporters are, and they can expect a little rat-a-tat-tat with me still at the front door. So yeah, it's going to be, it's hard work. It's hard work to get something of this scale up and running, but it'll be amazing. I will put my best into it.
The best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Your second song, what would that be?
What is it? It's Plain White Tees, Delilah.
Who are your influences and heroes?
That is really, really difficult for me to answer. All the way through growing up, I've never really followed anybody or looked up to any sort of celebrity, or I don't know. I'm a bit old-fashioned in thinking that some of the people who are at the top of the list at the moment maybe aren't the people to be followed. So my influences have been people that have made a difference in life. Obviously, I do a lot of charity stuff. That's the heart of me, charity sort of thing. So people that wake up every morning and think, I'm going to make a difference today. People that want to give something back and who appreciate that we're gone longer than we're here. And it sounds massively cheesy as a partner of a Celtic player to say Brother Walford as being somebody to look up to, but somebody like him who made a decision that he made to start a football club. He created what he set out to do a millionfold, but taking away the football side, what Celtic have given back charity-wise, that is one man who got a team of people together, business people in Glasgow, and made a massive difference. To keep it relative to Celtic, he's definitely the sort of man that I would look up to. But anybody in life, and there's millions and millions of people, unsung heroes, proper heroes, that have dedicated their life into giving something back. You see documentaries on the telly of a family that have not got much, but every year they go to a hospice or they go to a homeless centre and they give things back. They're my heroes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Sorry, Grandad, you got a cut. My granddad was in the first round, but seeing as we've had to retake it, Grandad Fred has been cut. But you're still my hero, Grandad.
Right, your next song, what would that be?
That is going to be... it's got to be a Christmas one, hasn't it? I've got to pick a Christmas one, so it's going to be Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas.
That was Chris Rea, Driving Home for Christmas. What are your earliest memories of going to Celtic Park?
Well, I'd never been to Celtic Park before Chris played for them, so my earliest memories only stem back 3 years, which is quite amusing. The first game that I went to, Chris played against Aberdeen. I have since loved Aberdeen games. Chris loves to see him to score a goal or a few against Aberdeen, and he did. So his debut goal was against Aberdeen. His second match that he played in was against Rangers, and he scored. And I kind of thought, this is the way to go. He's coming up here. Maybe he's going to score every match we're playing. So, but I remember, me and Chris have been together for nearly 13 years. So we've been together through his whole football career. We was seeing each other when we were at school, and Chris left school to go and play for Stoke. So he's played for Stoke, Nottingham Forest, Derby, and then Celtic, and obviously played for the national team as well. But there is something massively different about Celtic, and this is probably why I've got a cracking relationship with a lot of the supporters, because they know that I appreciate Celtic is different gravy. You walk into Celtic Park and it's like no other. How can you describe it? You can't describe it. If anybody's not been to a Celtic game and they are listening to this, they need to go to one. And I do say that to people when I go back to Nottingham, and somebody will say to me, oh, I don't really follow football. I'll say, would you believe I don't particularly follow football, but go to a Celtic match, go to a Champions League game, go to, when it used to be the Celtic Rangers games, they would be the first fixtures that I would look at when the fixtures came out. And if you can get to any sort of those games, a cup final game, what was different for me at Celtic is I'd never seen football fans sing from start to finish when they were losing. And I'm used to seeing Celtic fans, they can get the monk on, they can get the blog on when we're losing, but they can sing, banging a drum, screaming away from start to finish. We've seen that recently in the Champions League game. And credit to the fans that travelled to Barcelona. They were singing from start to finish. They went, they paid their money to go and see that team, and they made the most of it. They enjoyed every minute of it. I'm sure they didn't enjoy every minute of it, but they sang from start to finish. They did us proud. We only, a few thousand fans went over, and a lot of respect was made from those fans that did make that journey over. So earliest memories are Chris scoring, latest memories are Chris scoring, so let's keep that going. But some amazing times at Celtic Park. My April and William, William's 2 and April's 3, and they are Celtic dafties, which is funny coming from my family follow no football at all. My dad, I don't know whether to say this story or not, don't judge my dad, he's a nice guy. My dad doesn't follow football at all, and when Chris told us that he was signing for Celtic, my dad went to work and said, Chris, Chris, Lisa's Chris has signed for Celtic Rangers. And the football men at work were mortified and said, Martin, what are you on about? And he said, oh yeah, Lisa's rung up and said they've got a Celtic Rangers game. So somebody had to quickly inform my dad that it was 2 separate teams and Celtic Rangers aren't one team. So he knows the difference now. He's well aware that he just plays for Celtic. But yeah, coming from a family that hasn't supported football at all. We were born not knowing who Manchester United were, and now I've got William. Oh my word, we've got William that he sleeps in a football kit, a Celtic football kit every night. He knows every song, which is funny because my accent is so broad Nottingham, and William quite happily sings "Here we go, 10 in a row" every day in the broadest Scottish accent. And "Come on, you boys in Gleen" is his signature one. But he loves it. He can, at 2.5, he can name you every player on that squad. But before he tells you their name, he's more likely to say Bobby's daddy for Stokesy and Layla's daddy for Joe Ledley. But he can tell you all the players. So we are a football mad family now. From not when it was just me and Chris together, we weren't so football mad, and now we are Glasgow's green and white.
Brilliant.
So your fourth song, what would that be?
You tell me. What is it? It's Etta James, At Last.
Etta James, At Last. So, what irritates you?
In what respect? In any respect? In a Chris Commons respect? In a life respect? What irritates me? Oh, loads of stuff. Do you know what? Not a lot, in fairness. I can't get irritated. Being a mum of 3 small children, I've got sort of a good threshold there for not getting irritated. On a football way of life, what irritates me is sometimes when our fans aren't behind our team as much as what we could be. That gets a little bit irritating. Hearing negative things about Chris can get irritating, but also everyone's entitled to an opinion there. What irritates me in general life, I suppose, is people who are becoming an overnight success for not doing a great deal. So more than ever, we've got more reality TV shows coming along, and people that's not doing a lot, but young children are looking up to these people as role models, and I stand by that quite a lot. My job before being a mum, when I was at work, I used to teach in a college sex education, woohoo, and drug and substance misuse. What a job that were. It was absolutely great. And you would realise that what the latest celebrity was doing or what the latest programme was on telly had a massive influence on what kids were up to and what they were doing. So things like that irritates me. People pretending to be dumber than what they are irritates me as well sometimes. I'm as dumb as I come across. There is no there's no acting on this part. This is it for me. Don't ask me any questions, for goodness sake. There's not a trivia section, is there? There's not a general knowledge question, is there? Just keep it to age 9 to 12 if you do. But no, I suppose that's irritating when people don't give their best, due to their full potential of what you can do. I'm proof of it. My GCSEs you could spell fudge with. There wasn't a lot coming out of it. When I came out of school, I didn't achieve much, but I knew I'd got the gift of the gab, and I knew that I could talk my way into jobs. So with no qualifications, I managed to go into a college, and it took a lot of time. I had to do a lot of training and do it, training days and going away for weeks and training that way rather than going to university and even college. But I gave it my all, and that shows that you should try your best at school. If I could go back in time, I would have tried harder at things that I did and not been the class clown as much. But it does show that keep your head down and do your best of what you can do, and you can still end up doing your dream job. Yeah. So Chris has ended up doing his dream job, and he was very lucky that he'd got the talent that he possesses. But for somebody like me who's not very educational, I still ended up doing my dream job, which was doing what I was doing, working with young people, drug, substance misuse, homelessness, charity sort of things. So, yeah. Didn't really answer that, did I? Beat about the bush and went around 10 different things, but it's all about me today, isn't it? Shall I ask you some questions? No, it's not about you. It's about me. It's all about me.
So your next song.
You're making me remember all these. I can't remember. It's Lily Allen, Somewhere Only We Know.
That was Lily Allen, Somewhere Only We Know. How do you relax?
Relax. 3 kids under 4. Relax. Do you know what? To be fair, my relaxing time is in a bath. That's it. I don't get to go out much. I do get out a little bit, but I don't get to do a lot. The kids are in bed, and then it's me and Chris. Chris loves to cook as well, so there's normally a Jamie Oliver's 30-minute meal cook off in an evening time. I did say cook off in an evening time just before anybody jumps off the seat. But no, just being in our home. The kids go to bed 7:45. We're early birds anyway, but just having that time, sat in your loungewear, glass of wine, just talking. Me and Chris won't sit in front of a telly in an evening, really. We just spend a bit of time talking, because it is a madhouse. 3 children of that age. It's a noisy, full on, and Chris is a very hands-on dad, so he don't get away from anything. So it's full on about the kids in the day, doing arts and crafts. Everything's dragged out. So when those kids are in bed, me and Chris are just talking about the day. We don't really talk a lot about football, about things. It's just sort of what April's been up to that day, or what we're just general life. So that's how we relax.
Good. So your 6th song
is Snow Patrol.
Set fire to the third bar.
Set fire to the third. It's set fire to the third bar. I should know this is my favourite Snow Patrol. I've picked these and I can't remember what I've picked. Snow Patrol, set fire to the third bar. Thank you very much.
Snow Patrol and set fire to the third bar. So what does the future hold for you?
Oh, you tell me. The life of going out with a footballer. I hope and pray to God that we are at Celtic for the foreseeable future. I'd like to see Chris hang his boots up at Celtic, and I'm not talking rubbish, because there's a lot of Celtic fans listening. People that know me know that we're settled in Glasgow, we're very comfortable, and as well, which has been lovely, just recently Neil Lennon's came out to the papers and said that he hopes that Chris will be a coach at Celtic. That'd be amazing. If we thought that if we can get contracts signed, if we can get staying in Glasgow, knowing that the children are going to be going to school in Glasgow, it's nice to be able to kick your shoes off and think we're here for the foreseeable future. We rent a property at the moment. It'd be nice to really set some roots and stay in Glasgow and buy a house here. So I miss home, going home this time. It was the hardest time coming back up to Glasgow, and I think my dad's been unwell recently, so it was harder to sort of come up to Glasgow. But you know, as soon as I set foot over the border and there's a square sausage on tap, it feels like home. I miss home sometimes, but Glasgow, I love the fact that Loch Lomond is 2 minutes away, and we're a wellies and anorak sort of family rather than a shopping on Buchanan Street sort of family. So getting the kids togged up, going for a walk, feeding the ducks, going up to Cameron House, that's sort of where I hope we're going to carry on, and we're going to be up here for years to come. But Chris is 30 and football's age in dog years, so that makes Christian about 910, doesn't it? So he's Dad Celtic, he's Grandad Celtic, and I'm Granny Wag, and we're going to push his luck and stay here as long as the contracts keep getting offered. I think what's nice for Chris is he's at a stage now where he's been playing football since he's been 16, and we've invested money wisely, and that leaves Christian in a very fortunate position where he can play for a club. Let's be fair, football is you sign a contract, and wages, like anybody in life, whether you work anywhere, a wage is important. But Chris has been sensible, and now he can play for a team like Celtic. It is a good wage at Celtic, but he can play for a team to win trophies, to give something back, to play to win the league, to play Champions League football, rather than having to be veered away by a bigger check at the end of it. So we are comfortable that Chris can make great decisions like that, and Chris loves Celtic. So hopefully this is us, green and white. If he goes anywhere else, God knows what we're going to do with William. I hope is there another team that plays in green and white hoops that says Celtic on the top? Because if not, no, that's us here.
Right. One thing you would like to see changed in Scotland?
Changed in Scotland? I don't know about changed, but just maybe more things. One thing I'm hoping to get involved more in now is the food banks of Scotland. There's more than ever now. Families are needing these food banks over the Christmas period. I think there's 5 times more from reading the news the last few days. So I'm not clever enough to tell you what should be changed in Scotland, because I don't follow sort of what's happening, the latest thing, but looking at it from my eye level of what I understand, maybe more of us getting involved and giving something back, and getting the food parcel seems to be a big one at the moment. It's nice to think that everybody has got food and at least a roof over their head. Even if we can't all have luxuries, it's nice to think that people have got the basics in life. So whoever needs to make that decision, wherever that change needs to be made, that's what needs to be made.
Exactly. Who in history would you like to meet and why?
Ooh, there's no prepping with these questions, is there? Who would I like to meet in history? Funnily enough, me and my father-in-law play this game every Saturday with the who would you have at your dinner table. Now I'm trying to wonder who I normally say. You're going to need to pause this. This is going to take a minute.
Don't worry.
Right. It's going to be a long pause. He's already paused 16 minutes out for this part. Who do you want to meet? I might nick yours. Who do you want to meet?
John Lennon.
John Lennon. That's a good one. Can't have that now though, can I? I know who I'd like to meet.
Right.
After 45 minutes and 8 cups of coffee later and one bored Billy, I think it's going to be Oprah Winfrey, which I've never said before. But the amount of people, you see, I could hit 100 people there in one hit because she's met some amazing people, some great people. So I'd just fish out all the knowledge from what she'd ask people. So yeah, Oprah Winfrey.
Right then, this will be a difficult one.
Oh Lord.
Who's your favourite cartoon character?
Where do you pick these questions from? My mind's going Bugs Bunny, Tweety Pie. No, not them. Tasmanian Devil. No, not so much. I am going to go for... What's that big cockerel's name? I say. What's his name?
Oh.
The big cockerel man.
Okay.
45 minutes later, we're now Googling the big cockerel man. If you'd like to text your answers in to the text Lola 15770.
Cartoon cockerel. Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn. Is that right?
Foghorn Leghorn.
That's my man then. Foghorn. Which is brilliant because with a Nottinghamshire accent you don't pronounce your H's, so it's Foghorn Leghorn. And then you throw a duck in on the end. Foghorn Leghorn duck. That's it. That's the one.
Brilliant. Right, your penultimate song.
Sex is on fire?
Yes.
Shall I beep the sex out? Being the sex teacher that I was, I'm going to say Kings of Leon, beep is on fire.
Right, we've come to the part of the programme where I give you the complete works of the dandy and a copy of the Bible to take with you to your island. Would you like a copy of the Bible?
Ooh, now that's very interesting. I'm not religious.
Right.
At all. However, seeing as though I've not read a Bible, I'll take a Bible so I can have a read of it. I'm not religious. Do you know what? I'm religious on days where something bad's happened, so I'm one of the worst kind, aren't I? I pray when somebody needs praying for, but I would never pray for myself, so I know a lot. That's going to be frowned upon. Not religious at all.
Which other book would you take and why?
I don't read. Can I take my iPad? Can I take a DVD?
No. No.
Oh, you're being firm with me now. Right, I'm going to take a book. I'm going to take... I liked the sequels of book from David Pelzer, The Lost Boy. So I would take that book. It's a very sad book, so I don't know why I'm going to take it with me, but it's there's not been many books that I've read and then wanted to read again, so that'd be one. Wouldn't be 50 Shades of Grey, that's for certain.
Right then, a luxury. It's something to make your life a bit more bearable on the island. Remember, it can't be a human being and it can't be a mobile phone.
Oh. Right. So I'm on my own, on the desert island, little bit of something, not a person, not a Moby. What about a flare? Would a flare work? Just in case there's anybody else coming by that can help me. No, I'm not going to have a flare. I'm going to have...
Flares are banned.
So they should be. That's a different story. So they should be. I'm going to pick a notebook and a pen. Can I have two things? Does the pen come with the notebook?
Yes.
It's attached to it. I'm going to have a notebook. I'm going to write. I'm going to counsel myself while I'm on the island. So I'm going to have my pen and paper there. And I'm a doodler as well. And who don't love them things you used to make? Pick a number, pick a colour. What were they called? Google that one. What's that called? 1, 2, 3. Pick a colour.
How would you Google that?
How would you Google it? Oh no! Well, you are. You see what you're going to type. I'll inspire you while you're doing it. Pick a number. 1, 2, 3.
Paper fortune teller.
Paper fortune teller. So yeah, then you pick your number, then you pick your colour. You could do it all by yourself on your island as well. And then you do a day, but there wouldn't be much point in the day, would there? Because there'd only be like a coconut tree watching you do the day. You know, I said I hate people that come across dumber than what they are. Do you know what really irritates me? Ask me a knowledgeable question. I'll try and get it right. I'll try and redeem myself. Don't ask me.
Your final song.
The last song I'm going to pick is Avicii, Wake Me Up.
And why did you choose that?
Do you know what? It's a funny one actually, because me and the other Wagtastics, when Gary Hooper left to go to Norwich, we did a leaving party, and we've got girls there. They're from all over the place, so we all got together at Hoops' house and had a party. And this song came on, and all the girls got up. There was about 8 of us. Nobody was particularly had a lot of drinks, but we all got up just jumping about, and Josephine Lustig was there, and she just went, "You girls love the Sweden," and that's why I love this song. I didn't expect you to answer me that, but that's quite a nice answer to it. All the girls together, we was jumping around. In fact, I took a picture of us dancing and put it onto Twitter, and there's always one clever clogs, isn't there? So somebody had sent the picture back, and they'd halved the screen of another picture, which was the Celtic Wags and the players from about 19, I don't know when it was. Everyone will remember the picture if you've seen it, but it's like a pyramid, and the Wags have all got like the short little hairdos, and they all look like real ladies in this pose, and then it's showing you all girls, and we were all jumping about, and his hair was going crazy, and there's tan everywhere, and typical Wag crazy. So yeah, somebody had done that, but that's why I picked that song.
Right, before we go, I'd like to wish everyone, including yourself, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. I've got a question for you.
Ooh.
Who's the most bonkers person you have ever interviewed?
That's quite an easy one to answer. You, madam.
Thank you very much, Ducky. Do you get an award? Do I get anything for that? No.
Yes, you get 2 DVDs.
Oh, thank you. And I'll take them. Thank you.
Lisa Hague, thank you very much for being a Desert Island Tim.
Merry Christmas.